And the bounty hunter pulls out the line. There's Keith Montgomery. The machine is no respect. But to me, I mean, that looks like another one of the threshing machines. Again, the agricultural influence. There's fours and up. Ronnie Newsom, the driver.
Notice that streamlined aircraft-like nose on Newsom's machine, though, Paul. I rest my case.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's good news for Williams, Montgomery, and Newsom that Ortega's not coming out, because with his marine design, he was a sure winner here.
Well, O'Roy's got to be disappointed, because there he is. I guess he's climbing on board for kind of nostalgia. No, he's going to use that as his platform to view the race that he had a chance to win.
Incredible technology. You could understand how something could go wrong. I mean, sometimes there's 2, maybe 3 feet of wiring in some of these machines.
Hey, big hole shot by fours and up. Ronald Newsom, but suddenly he has problems. And look at this. He's going to get those sneakers plenty wet.
Bounty hunter with Paul Williams chugs into the lead, as it were, as there is fours and up comes back again. But there's no respect. Keith Montgomery on board, and he is having some serious problems.
Well, they finally got it cleaned out. Looked like it swallowed a little bit of water there, but we've got a race for the lead. It's Bounty Hunter and fours and up. Bounty Hunter with Paul Williams on board right now is beginning to pull a lead as they come into the first turn.
Look at that. There's Newsom trying to duck onto the inside, and in fact, he did it and is taking the lead.
Oh, boy, I think that surprised the Bounty Hunter. He didn't expect that one little bit.
Well, I think that Newsom's got a bunch more power, at least at this point, as he heads down the front straightaway in front of the cheering crowd. And his first shot at speed at the Sippy Hole. Let's see how he does.
Well, he better be good, because the Bounty Hunter is closing.
Fours and up, pulls it up out of the Sippy Hole, and Bounty Hunter just heads into it. So fours and up, he looks around and checks out to see how much of a lead. There you can see the distance. First to second, no respect. There it is, still struggling on the course as he heads down into the Sippy Hole. Can he get through it clean? Remember, he clogged the engine up, and it's kicking out some moisture right now. Can no respect pull up and out of the Sippy Hole? Well, finally, he gets it going, and Keith Montgomery joins the battle again.
Here's the leader, Ron Newsom, on fours and up, and it looked as if he bogged down there a little bit on the back straightaway in that Sippy Hole there, but now it gets her cleared out and seems to be opening out a little bit on Williams.
I believe he just made a poor gear selection.
Well, that's possible. These ultra-sophisticated 5- and 6-speed gearboxes can get a little confusing when you're trying to do them in 2 feet of water.
That's right. The Gertag gearbox is new in swamp buggy technology.
Well, it looks like Ron Newsom's headed for a victory here, Paul. I don't think, unless he pulls a Leonard Cheshire in the last couple of feet.
And he's got the victory. Now Bounty Hunter has to get through the Sippy Hole, as he does, and finishes in second place. But it's fours and up, Ron Newsom, and look at no respect. He's not getting much here today, as Keith Montgomery well behind the first 2 machines, but still he's got a leg up on Roy Ortega, who didn't even make it to the run.
All right, here comes the third place buggy. No respect, Keith Montgomery heading down for the final challenge, the Sippy Hole, which has been the demise of so many guys. He completes his run in the 3rd spot. All right, now let's go to Steve with the winner.
You know, every type of racing has a different name for that kind of tape. 200-mile-an-hour tape in drag racing and NASCAR. And Ron, what do you call that kind of tape in swamp buggy racing, and why is it holding the tire to the rim?
We call it duct tape, and I got 2 splits in the side of my tire. So I took and wrapped it with some nylon rope and then put the tape on it to hold the rope in place to keep that tire from splitting anymore.
Well, it appears to have worked. Tell me, what's the quick way around the old course today?
The quick way? Well, about like we've been running from day one.
Anything you have to avoid? Any big holes, any rocks, any rough bottom?
Not really. We come out 2 or 3 weeks ago and kind of cleaned the rock side of the track and tried to grade it a little bit and make it a little smoother. And other than that, though, the outside of the track's a little bit soft. And if you get out there, it just kind of slows you down. If you kind of hold from the middle to the inside of the track, you're all right.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Well, Ronald was using layman's terms there when he said duct tape. In the sport itself, we call it tractor tire tape.
He doesn't give up, does he, Evans?
No, he is tenacious.
As we watch Larry West and Restoration come to the line, he will compete against multi-winner here, Ray Thornton on board Cold Duck. This is the class final for the 4-cylinder, 4-wheel drive buggies.
Cold Duck. Boy, there were copious amounts of that consumed in the post-nuptial celebration yesterday. Ray Thornton, you know, that buggy has been around as long as we've been covering the swamp buggies. It never changes. Here's the liner-upper. That is Yogi Reed. He's the one that says when it's okay. And on the inside, with the tiniest of hole shots, is Restoration Larry West.
But it looks as if Thornton has kind of chugged his way through the Sippy hole. Ray, as I said earlier, has won here in the mini feature a number of times, so he's a very experienced competitor. And that buggy is what you call well-developed, because I don't think he's changed it for the last 4 or 5 years.
I don't think even Page could find a tractor influence on that buggy. It really has its heritage in the hunting buggies that they actually still use in the swamp.
Page can find an influence, believe me. He's found them in all the other buggies.
Big, round tractor-style tires, and they are carrying the Cold Duck out in front. Thornton's got a tremendous lead, but now look, here comes Restoration on the charge as he's churning up the water, trying to catch the Cold Duck.
Yeah, running right down the wake of Thornton. Looks like he's trying to dig the inside. There's the Cold Duck, Ray Thornton's cheering section. That's his daughter, Tina, Judy Tomlin, Tina's friend. They are having a good time.
And they had good reason to be concerned there for a moment, because as Cold Duck kind of struggled in the Sippy hole, Restoration made up a lot of ground, but now it is Cold Duck back on plane.
Cold Duck certainly accepted that challenge. You can see Restoration now lags well behind, but the Cold Duck still having some problems getting out of the different depressions around this course. Cold Duck in the lead at the moment, making the final set of turns. Restoration on the charge coming out of that hole in the backstretch. I think the deciding factor is going to come here at the line. So does the cheering section, because the Sippy hole has been a problem for Cold Duck. Let's see how he navigates now.
Did you hear that, Brock? He said navigate. That's a boating or a aviation term.
He's learning. He's learning as we watch Ray Thornton come across the line to victory here in the class final. He'll advance to the little feature. And now let's go to Paul with a key official.
Well, you know, a lot of sports have a lot of high technology to determine just exactly where and when the starting line is. But here are the Swamp Buggies. You got an official liner-upper, and it's Yogi Reed. Yogi, you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing it since '71.
What kind of special considerations are there to being a liner-upper?
I don't think there's any special thing. Just try to get them straight.
Now, occasionally we get a little false start or something. Then they fight a little to get the right position, don't they?
Yeah, they do that. A lot of times they don't back up right, so I just try to line them up on the lead buggy.
Sooner or later, you got to get mean with them, though, don't you?
Oh yeah. Sometimes you have to throw a stick at them to wake them up too.
Well, I bet they hate that.
Yeah, they try to throw them back, but they can't reach them.
Better a stick than a snake, though.
Yeah, really.
The official liner-upper here at the Swamps, Yogi Reed.
And like all the officials here, Paul, Yogi is a volunteer. The money generated by Swamp Buggy Racing goes to local Naples charities. Stick with us. A lot of action to come here on the Mile of Mud.
A warm Gulf breeze wafts gently through the palm trees here at the edge of the swamp. Yep, it's the Swamp Buggy races once again, and the action continues. Let's go to Brock Yates.
I'm with Ray Thornton, who just won the 4-cylinder, 4-wheel drive class in convincing style. Congratulations, Ray.
Thank you very much.
Pretty easy run, actually, after about the last half of the race, anyway.
Well, it's pretty tight. That buggy's really running today. Didn't want to shift into high gear one time there on me, is held in second. Kind of worried me.
Well, it looked like you were sawing on a wheel pretty hard. Was the steering loosen up on you at all?
Well, I was just bouncing around, keeping both hands hanging on to it. I run pretty hard.
Yeah,
I weren't taking no chances that time.
Well, congratulations. Nice work. We'll see you in the final.
In the mini feature. Thank you much.
Okay.
I don't know anybody who's had more enjoyment out of a racing vehicle than that man has had with Cold Duck. Here we go, 6-cylinder, 2-wheel drive. Morris Gurrell just passing through 2. You should have seen number 1. All Rat with Roger Williams. And it was Roger who unceremoniously disposed of our bridegroom, Jim Bidoff, and sent him to the bridal suite a bit earlier than he wanted to go.
And rounding out the field is the king of the swamps, as it were, Leonard Chesser, who comes to the line with his 6-cylinder buggy. That's the other one. And I'll tell you, Steve, I would imagine that Leonard has nothing in mind but to dominate this race based on his sudden failure in the last one we saw.
Well, he's got so many friends and fans here at the Swamp Buggy Classic, Yogi being one of them as they line up, that he doesn't want to disappoint them either. A lot of pride at stake here.
Little last-minute adjustment by Yogi Reed, the liner-upper. A salute to the starting line. The flying orange of the Chesser Racing stable on the far side in what is a real grudge match. But look at this. Boy, Chesser got whooped on the start as they streamed down toward the sippy hole. Morris Garrell flying in there in first place.
Well, I tell you, he just drilled them on the light, and that is unlike Leonard Chesser. He has just had a bad day all the way around, but he's got a lot of horsepower. He can make it up.
Well, right now, though, he's falling behind Roger Williams and all that, but looks like Williams is stalled. Yeah, he's parked there. So here comes Leonard. Now, still, though, well behind in second place. Here's your leader, and Morris Garrell is showing all kinds of power coming down the front straightaway.
Just passing through, too, is the machine, and he hasn't hesitated. He took that hole shot, powered through the sippy hole, now rockets down the back stretch. Look at Chesser. Chesser, he doesn't even have a characteristic pose there. In fact, I think he's spending all his time listening to the motor, and if we listen to it, it's